Today, I'm really privileged as well as extremely happy to introduce someone who has been a successful entrepreneur in Japan, who has been dedicated to a vision of really making the world a better place for a long time. I would like to let somebody else introduce our speaker today. Basically, way back 20-something years ago, about 23 years ago, there was something called the Asia Pacific Student Entrepreneurship Summit at Stanford. And the person whose picture you're seeing is Dr. David Bruner, who at the time was an undergraduate at Stanford and was the organizer of that first summit. David himself is a successful entrepreneur. He's founded the company Module Q, and unfortunately he can't be with us today because he's in London setting up a big new project for Module Q with one of the major financial institutions there. So let me turn over the microphone to David, and let's see what happens.
It's a tremendous honor to introduce one of Japan's most respected young entrepreneurs and a dear friend, Mr. Mitsuru Izumo, founder and CEO of Euglena. I first met Izumo in 1999 in Tokyo at a student business competition. Izumo was chairman of the organizing committee. That experience inspired me to start a similar organization at Stanford, ACES, the Asia Pacific Student Entrepreneurship Summit, with support from Professor Richard Dasher. We were able to welcome Izumo to Stanford as a delegate at the first ACES Summit in 2000. While Izumo was a student at Tokyo University, he had a transformative experience. Visiting Bangladesh and observing children suffering from malnutrition, he was determined to do something to help solve that horrible problem. He graduated from the Agriculture and Life Sciences Department at Tokyo University and started his career at the Bank of Tokyo Mitsubishi. But he soon decided that he wanted to be an entrepreneur and founded Euglena in 2005 to commercialize research on the Euglena algae, which he saw had potential as a source of nutrition, a carbon neutral fuel, and even an ingredient in cosmetics and pharmaceuticals. It has been thrilling to watch Izumo as he has grown his business into the successful company that it is today. In 2012, Euglena went public on the Mothers section of the Tokyo Stock Exchange, and Izumo was recognized by the World Economic Forum as a young global leader. In 2013, here at Stanford, Izumo was recognized as an emerging leader at the Japan-US Innovation Awards. And in 2014, Euglena was promoted to the first section of the Tokyo Stock Exchange. In 2015, Izumo was the first recipient of the Japan Venture Award, presented to him by the late Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. And in 2021, the Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs awarded Izumo and Euglena the Prime Minister's Sustainable Development Goals Award for their work bringing nutritious Euglena cookies to Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh. This was building on an initiative that Euglena had started as early as 2014 to help solve the problem that Izumo had observed around malnutrition in Bangladesh all the way back as an undergraduate at Tokyo University. Throughout my career, I have been inspired by Izumo's energy, his determination, his vision, his humility, and his sense of higher purpose. He is also a fearless innovator. You may not be surprised to hear that Euglena has a CFO, but you may be surprised to learn that their CFO is their Chief Future Officer, tasked with helping the company achieve its sustainability goals. And in 2021, Euglena took the remarkable step of incorporating sustainability into their corporate charter, making operating the business to bring about a sustainable society a core tenet of their articles of incorporation. Congratulations, Izumo, on your incredible success. Thank you for joining us today, and welcome back to Stanford.
So I can't add to that any better. It's a real delight to be able to welcome Izumo-san to us today. So why don't I just turn the microphone over to you, Mitsuru-san? The floor is yours. Tell us a little bit about Euglena and your vision.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for giving me the great opportunity for sharing the latest trend in our industry and, of course, what we do in Japan. Yeah, thank you very much. We really appreciate your great David's introduction and great support to the Professor Dasher. Today, I'd like to talk about the energy renewable bio business, refinery business in Japan, and another several parts. I'd like to add on the several businesses what we do. So let me start first the company overview, and I'd like to divide my parts into three parts. The first one is the, as I said, renewable fuel business we do, and the next social business in Bangladesh and other developed countries as well. And the last one is the corporate governance, our unique management system I'd like to share the lastly. So let's get started. The first slide is when I was a student, first grade in the University of Tokyo, I visited Bangladesh. You know, Bangladesh was still regarded as the first country in the world, and I watched and I saw the real poverty issue there. You imagine that there are so many rice are there. For example, we Japanese people take 60 kilograms of rice a year. In Bangladesh, the population is 160 million. Everyone they are access to the huge amount of rice, 200 kilograms, 3 times compared to Japanese people. They eat a lot of rice every day, but fresh vegetables, eggs, milk, any other nutritious food, they couldn't access to the vegetables or other nutritious foods at all. So when I visited there, I decided to solve the malnutrition problem in Bangladesh, I saw, through providing nutrient-rich foodstuffs. So when I came back to Japan, and I searched our nutritious foodstuffs in the University of Tokyo. And I find eventually 2000, I came to know what Euglena is. You see the many types of algae, the microalgae and macroalgae like seaweed. You can enjoy the sushi roll wrapped with some kind of seaweed. So algae is a kind of course, plant. Algae has chlorophyll, and algae can do photosynthesis by capturing carbon dioxide and produce oxygen and carbohydrate like other plant. Of course, algae is a kind of plant plankton, microorganism. But I focus on the research of Euglena. The reason why Euglena is very unique microorganism and microalgae. Yeah, you see the Euglena, the length is only 0.1 millimeter. You can't see directly. Of course, you should use the microscope for observing Euglena. And Euglena live in the pond, in the river, in the sea, in the water, and green colored. Can do photosynthesis, like the plant plankton. But what makes Euglena unique is that Euglena is a kind of plant. And at the same time, Euglena can move by itself like animal. Euglena has both plant and animal genes. Euglena can produce vegetable dietary fiber, vitamins, animal proteins, fishy unsaturated dietary fatty acids, 59 types of nutrients Euglena can produce at one time. It's partly, we can call Euglena is a perfect foodstuff for improving and solving the malnutrition issue in Bangladesh. But it's extremely difficult to cultivate Euglena in a pure sanitized environment. It's impossible to prevent from biological contamination because Euglena has wide range of nutrients. So in nature, every kind of bacteria, planktons, insects, birds, and human beings, they love to eat Euglena. So we had to set up special facility like clean room you can see in the semiconductor factory for the mass cultivation of Euglena. It's expensive. So we totally changed the way, the protocol, and I invented the special cultivation liquid in 2005. This photo shows the Euglena commercial scale mass production factory located in Okinawa Island, the most southern part of Japan. Yeah, because the cultivation of algae, we need a huge amount of sunlight and carbon dioxide as well for doing photosynthesis. So set up the factory in the most southern part of Japan in Okinawa Island. And you can see the our factory is not covered by white roof. It's just pond under the blue sky. So the production cost is totally different. Very low cost and commercial scale. I mean, in the University of Tokyo, I cultivate the amount of Euglena is extremely limited in a year. Only 100 grams Euglena dry powder can be collected in 1 year. But now we set up the commercial scale factory in Okinawa and cultivate 100 tons of Euglena for the supplement, food products, cosmetic items, and raw materials for the pharmaceutical industries. And yeah, more interestingly, we can provide Euglena-based biojet fuel, sustainable aviation fuel, and renewable diesel fuel as well. We, as a startup company originated from the University of Tokyo, I founded the company in 2005. And we are the world's first company succeeding in the outdoor mass cultivation of the microalgae Euglena in December 2005. And yeah, David says that we were listed on the first section of the Tokyo Stock Exchange since December 2014. And let's move on to the next slide is the challenge for Japan. Yeah, I'd like to touch the current situation or entrepreneurship and the current status in Japan. Startup companies are the least active in Japan among developed countries, which makes it difficult for new innovations to occur in my country. 130,000 new companies are born in Japan every year, but so-called unicorn companies are only 3. And in Japan, we have 86 national universities and including private universities, colleges, National Research Institute. There are 800 universities, colleges, and national research institutes in Japan. Counting from 2005, 3,000 startups have been born from 800 universities. Among the university-launched startups, 67 have gone public. Since the number of university startups is limited compared to your country, the Kishida administration has declared Japan a startup nation and will begin efforts to increase the number of university startups tenfold in 5 years as the main driver for the realization of the new updated capitalism. And we are the first university originated from the university that got listed on the first section of the Tokyo Stock Exchange. Then 2014, we were awarded as a Prime Minister Award in the Japan Startup Award. Last Tuesday, there was a state funeral for the late Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. People from all over the world came to pay their respects. And former Prime Minister Suga's speech was also very moving and wonderful. 7 years ago, Prime Minister Abe presented me with the Prime Minister's Award at the first Japan Venture Awards. And I'm, of course, running at bio startup company, Euglena, right now. And also, I'm in charge of a startup committee in the Keidanren, Japan Business Federation. So I renewed my determination to achieve the Keidanren's goal, Japanese government goal, of increasing the number of startups in Japan tenfold in 5 years at the state funeral. And our business, we develop all our businesses around sustainability and aim to link the business growth to the reduction of social problems, issues. So we do 3 businesses: combat climate change, realize lifelong health, and solve malnutrition issues in developing countries through renewable fuel business, healthcare business, and social business in Bangladesh. So I'd like to talk about 3 parts. The first one is environment, renewable, sustainable fuel business, social business, and lastly, share the unique governance system. the firstly, I touch the renewable fuel business. The challenge for Japan is lacking of renewable fuel supply. Demand for SAF, SAF stands for Sustainable Aviation Fuel in Japan, is obviously large and growing. By 2030, the airline companies should reduce the emission of carbon dioxide 46% by 2013. And lastly, eventually 2050, they have to become the carbon neutral position in the field of airline industry. So we need a huge amount of SAF, sustainable aviation fuel. But in Japan, currently, there are no suppliers. Sustainable aviation fuel producers are none in Japan currently. But Euglena is a kind of plant plankton and contains 59 types of nutrients. And other type of Euglena, we collect 100 different types, strains of Euglena I have. And some, you can see there are many wide varieties of Euglena are there. Some type of Euglena can produce a lot of vitamins or amino acids, and these kind of strains is perfectly fit for using the healthcare food stuff. And other type of Euglena can produce a lot of lipid, wax, crude oil in the body. Then we extract the lipid out of the Euglena's body, and we extract the lipid, and we put it on the refinery process. And after the refinery process, we gain the pure, high quality kerosene, a sustainable aviation fuel, in 2012. So we've started the R&D project for producing Japan's first biofuel, and we constructed the Japan's first renewable fuel production plant in 2018, and currently have supplied sustainable aviation fuel and renewable diesel fuel to domestic Japanese companies, users. Our achievement, we separate the three parts. The first one is feedstock. We use cultivate Euglena, microalgae Euglena, and we also use industrial waste oil from the Japanese traditional restaurants, and we collect the industrial waste oil, and we add the Euglena crude oil into the refinery process. In the middle of the photo shows our current demonstration plant in Yokohama, very close to the Tokyo Haneda International Airport, and we have started supplying renewable fuels to the airline companies and transportation or many other Japanese users. So product features is there. We produce two types of biofuel. The first one is renewable jet fuel, SAF, and renewable diesel fuel as well. Our company's products, Euglena renewable jet fuel, has been certified with ASTM 7566 in 2020. Euglena sustainable aviation fuel is available all over the world. You don't need to put any customization or modification, or no need for the airlines, aircraft engines. You can just put Euglena sustainable aviation fuel for reducing the emission of carbon dioxide. Because officially our products has approved by ASTM, American Standard Technology for materials. And the next, renewable diesel. I'm proudly approved the renewable diesel fuel. Euglena-based RDF is the totally same molecular structure with crude oil-based conventional diesel fuel. Then 100% drop in fuel without any engine vehicle troubles. So in Japan, I don't know the exact regulation in your country, but in Japan, the first generation of biofuel, the usage is still limited, only 5% in Japan. It's the limited blending ratio, and Japanese government set the regulation for the biofuel producers and transportation companies as well. But our next generation Euglena-based renewable diesel fuel is totally different. The quality is totally different. We acquire the confirmation to JIS, Japan Industrial Standardization, and ASTM spec as well. So our company's RDF can be used 100% drop in fuel and applicable for all existing diesel vehicles according to the Japanese and American standard. So our achievement supplying for renewable fuels, the customers, the number of customers are increasing very rapidly. It supplied our renewable fuels to over 50 companies covering land, sea, and air transport industries. And supply, we've supplied at gas station for not only the business users, but general consumers as well. In April the last year, Euglena expanded the supply field, not only business sector, but also general individual consumers at the gas station. And I'd like to share the connection with your country. We have explained Euglena biofuel, and especially sustainable aviation fuel is important to your country. So to Her Excellency, the United States Ambassador to Japan, Caroline Kennedy, and His Excellency William Hagaki, the former United States Ambassador to Japan. And we are very lucky. Just yesterday, I met the current United States Ambassador to Japan, His Excellency Emmanuel, at the Google conference. So I met Sundar Pichai, CEO of Google, and your ambassador to Japan, and they were really interested in the Japanese original second generation of biofuel. And the first flight using our sustainable aviation fuel completed the last year. Our SAF was supplied to Honda Jet for the first flight in the world, and supply to the ministry flight inspection aircraft, private jet, Honda Jet, and commercial jet. Of course, we provide the sustainable aviation fuel to the FDA, Fuji Dream Airline in Japan, and 77 passengers enjoyed the low carbon flight around the Mount Fuji, and we've just announced that the first supply starting the first supply of domestic SAF, Japanese SAF to an airport hydrant system in Japan in Narita Airport the last month. And the remaining our challenge is the cost. Only cost. The quality doesn't matter. I mean, the second generation of our company's biofuel has been already certified with every country's regulation, or we've passed. And the quality, it doesn't matter. But the remaining problem is cost, production cost. Our current factory is located in Yokohama. The capacity is limited, only 125 kiloliters per year. So I have a strict plan to expand 2,000 times larger scale commercial plant. We are going to set up the new commercial scale refinery plant in Asia, and plant capacity is estimated around 250,000 kiloliters, 2,000 times expanded, larger compared to the current pilot scale plant. And after that, refining cost drastically reduced by developing a commercial scale plant by 2025. The current our product price is extremely expensive compared to the crude oil-based kerosene or diesel fuel. Yeah, I know, fully understand that the 100 times expensive. Just $100 per liter, yeah, very expensive. But after the completion of a commercial scale plant by 2025, reduce dramatically the production cost. And after the completion of the construction of a commercial plant, the estimated price is around just $2 per liter, is roughly equal to the $7 per gallon. I have strong confidence to reduce the production price in 3 years and provide a lot of business users and Japanese general consumers as well, and meeting the parity price point of the crude oil-based kerosene and diesel fuel. That's the plan of the renewable business and fighting with the climate change we are doing. And next, I'd like to talk about the social business in Bangladesh. As I said, I visited Bangladesh and I was determined to solve the malnutrition issue in Bangladesh. And currently, yeah, very fortunately, we are providing every day 10,000 Euglena fortified school lunch to the people, to the students in Bangladesh every day, and set up the joint venture company with Grameen Bank. Grameen Bank is one of the largest non-governmental organization in South Asia, and the founder is Professor Muhammad Yunus, is the Nobel Prize laureate 2006, and yeah, he is currently supporting our providing Euglena school lunch project to the students in Bangladesh. So set up the joint venture company, and we do social business in Bangladesh. And provided 400,000 meals to people in Dhaka, and 100,000 meals to other areas. Yeah, during school closure period due to COVID-19 in 2020, and we expand the Euglena school lunch, free lunch project to the Rohingya refugees camp in the southern part of Bangladesh. And this project is strongly affiliated and supported by the Japanese government, Bangladesh government, and also WFP, World Food Program in the United Nations. So we are going to expand the number of distributing Euglena cookies to the children. And now, this year, I start a new marketing project to reach more people sustainably. I mean, the Euglena providing a cookie project is totally free. This is the 100% free, covered by our covered with our cost. But it's not sustainable. So I set up the new sales of Euglena powder, furikake project. Euglena powder, you can put Euglena dry powder into the rice curry or curry itself, rice itself, and Euglena contains 50 times vitamins, amino acids, and minerals as the same amount of vegetables, fish, or meat, beef, chicken as well. So 50 times condensed nutrients Euglena contains. So when you put Euglena dry powder 1 gram into a rice curry, you can take 50 grams of vegetables, milk, beef, chicken, and fish, the same amount of amino acids, vitamins, 59 varieties of nutrients you can take. So yeah, this is the new marketing and commercial project, and we invest profit coming from the sales of Euglena Furikake project for expansion of the free distribution of Euglena cookies to the children in Bangladesh. That is the company's project in the field of social business for the sustainability. And together with Grameen Group, we have supported Bangladesh farmers and Rohingya refugees, and now established the special partnership with the WFP, World Food Program. Then we implement the Japanese advanced farming technology to the Bangladesh and also Rohingya refugees, and we educate, train them, and increase the productivity and crops in the Bangladesh. And our challenge is highly rewarded by the government, and we won the Prime Minister Award in Japanese Sustainable Development Goals Award on our activities in Bangladesh in expectation of promoting a new form of capitalism, and startup can play a very important role for achieving the SDGs and a new form of capitalism in Japan. Euglena, our company, and university-originated startups can play an important role for achieving these goals. I strongly believe then our activities are expected to accelerate establishment of social startups and promote SDGs-oriented actions in Japanese companies and universities, colleges, students as well. Lastly, I'd like to touch the corporate management in my company. This slide shows the chance, potential opportunity for Japan. Millennials and Z generation lead the society. And after 2025, sustainable capitalism will be accelerated. I believe that by the millennials and Z generation in Japan, because at 2025, the current workforce, the number of workforce in my country is about 73 million. And in 2025, millennials and younger Z generation become the majority over the half of the Japanese workforce is 73 million. Then after 2025, the digital transformation or green transformation and sustainable transformation could be accelerated by next generation. And our uniqueness, I share the two unique points, what we do, what we have. The first one is the diversified and skilled board members, enhancing diversity by increasing the ratio of female directors. We are 15 years younger on average than large companies in terms of the average ages of board members. And the percentage of female board members is 29%, which is about 4 times higher than that of large Japanese companies, TSE listed companies. And next, this is a very interesting and unique governance model I have is CFO. CFO doesn't stand for the Chief Finance Officer. In my company, CFO stands for the Chief Future Officer. Since 2019, we have appointed the Chief Future Officer from youngsters aged under 18 who propose actions for sustainable future to our management as a board member, a Chief Future Officer. Based on the first CFO, Ozawa-san's recommendation, all of the company's trash cans are now transparent. We monitor the amount of trash every week. Plastic bottle trash cans have been removed of my company. As a result, we were able to reduce the amount of trash in the company by 80% in only a year. And the second CFO, Chief Future Officer, Kawasaki-san, has done many good achievements. And the biggest one is here. Business objective aligned with SDGs. Amending the articles of incorporation of the company is a special resolution under Japan's Companies Act, which requires a 2/3 majority of shareholders to approve the special resolution. And at the time, under the supervision of second Chief Future Officer, we have tried. We tried the business objective in the articles on incorporation so as to be aligned with the 17 SDGs goal. Making money and distributing dividend to shareholders is what the stock company is all about. Every investors and many shareholders told me, claim that same thing repeatedly at the time. But when we put it to a vote at the general shareholder meeting, we were able to get more than 90% of the shareholders to approve the special resolution for changing and aligning 100% perfectly for the 17 SDGs. So, our company has more than 100,000 shareholders, but 90% of shareholders to approve the amendment. I feel that Japanese investors are changing, and I feel that they are really supporting our sustainability first corporate activities. Lastly, let's wrap up our presentation. Environment in the field of ESG, environment, social, and governance, we increase the production of second generation renewable fuels to accelerate decarbonization in Japan and the world in the next 10 years. In the field of social business, enhance social business models by innovations, which means that we became the first company and we have succeeded to cultivate Euglena on a commercial scale, not 100 grams per year, but we cultivated 100 tons of Euglena for producing many varieties of food items and partnerships to address the social issues in Bangladesh and the world. The last, ESG, G stands for governance. I promote well-diversified board members, board system, and forward-thinking management to inspire companies in Japan and the world. So I need more investment in and more engagement with green and social startup companies with your country, and more pressure on large companies to accelerate partnership with or support for startups is essentially needed in the under the current situation. As I said, Japan has always ranked last in terms of the entrepreneurship and the ecosystem for the friendly ecosystem for the startups we were ranked last. So I need to change the Japanese ecosystem for startups in the university and in the society. So we are going to expand and promote our actions to the people in Japan and of course including in newer country. So I hope that today's presentation, my presentation will become the first step to how to develop the special relationship among us, and how to expand the capability, motivation, and passion, and more engagement we need to acquire from the Japanese and the United States big successful cases and companies as well. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for a really inspiring talk. If I can kind of read between the lines of your answer to the last question, you're not satisfied with the scale of the company Euglena yet, and you will continue to expand. And, you know, as somebody from this side, I would hope that you can expand as quickly as possible and as much as possible. It's great to see that things have moved on into the kind of process of commercialization. Congratulations for an incredible amount of hard work over more than 20 years. And, you know, we hope that we can have you come back in a few years and tell us that you have reached 250,000 liters of jet fuel. Thanks so much, Izumo-san. It was great to see you today.
Thank you. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much. Thank you for time.